Hello, my name is Kristen, and I will be your next interp speaker. Is the timer ready?
Yes.
Then let's begin. One night, the king was holding a grand feast. Sneaking behind the lords and ladies, Prince Brat tied a powdered wigs back to the back of their oak chairs. Then he hid. When the guests stood up to toast to the king, their wigs came flying off. Prince Brat tried to keep from laughing. He clasped both hands over his mouth, but it ripped out. The king spied him and looked mad enough to spit ink. "Fetch the whipping boy!" The Whipping Boy by Sid Fleischman. The prince knew he had nothing to fear. He had never been whipped in his life. He was a prince, and it was forbidden to spank, thrash, cuff, smack, or whip a prince. A common boy was kept in the castle to be whipped in his place. "Fetch the whipping boy!" The king's command traveled like an echo from guard to guard up the stony staircase to a small chamber in the drafty north tower. An orphan boy named Jemmy, the son of a rat catcher, roused from sleep. He had been dreaming happily of his ragged but carefree life before he had been plucked from the streets and sewers of the city to serve as the royal whipping boy. A guard shook him fully awake. "On your feet, me boy!" "Ain't I already been whipped twice today? What's the prince done now?" "Let's not keep the great folk waiting, lad." In the main hall, the king said, 20 whacks!" Defiantly biting back every yelp and cry, the whipping boy received the 20 whacks. "And let that be a lesson to you." "Yes, Papa." The prince lowered his head as to appear humble and contrite, but all the while he was feeling a growing exasperation with the whipping boy. In the tower chamber, he fixed him with a scowl. "How come you don't bawl?" "Don't know. Whipping boys are supposed to yell like stuck pigs. It ain't no fun if you don't bawl. Yelp and bellow next time, here, or I'll tell Papa to give you back your rags and throw you back out on the streets." "Much obliged, your wolfiness," Jemmy thought. "I'll take me rags and be gone in half a blinking eye." When the prince could not write or read, Jemmy could count on thrashing first thing in the morning. Sure and certain, he thought as he pulled on his fine velvet breeches and silk stockings. The prince wouldn't know his lessons, and the tutor was fast as a fly swatter with his wheel switch, and Jemmy would be back in rags. The tutor, Master Petwick, was a round-faced man with fat cheeks. He pointed his wheel switch at the prince. "You fiddle-faddle scholar! One day you'll be king, and you still don't know your alphabet from pig's tracks. I can always get someone to read for me." "You can't so much as write your own name." "I can always get someone to write my name for me." The tutor's cheeks swelled with anger, almost unhorsing the small spectacles saddling on his nose. "But, Ben, it would be easier to educate a bull of cabbage. Prepared to be punished, your lordship." 10 whacks at least, and good and hard if you please. Jemmy, who was obliged to be close at hand for the daily lesson, reckoned that freedom was now close at hand. The prince threw him a smirking glance as Master Petwick raised the switch and beat Jemmy like a carpet. Jemmy didn't yelp or bellow. 10 whacks and not a sound escaped his lips. "You contrary rascal! And pure spite you won't howl. Ha! Think you can get away with it? Ha! Never know how." "He's going back on his word," Jemmy thought. "And don't you try and run away either, or I'll have you tracked down till your tongue hangs out like a red flag." And so it went on for more than a year. The prince learned nothing, and the whipping boy learned to write, read, and do sums. On a night when the moon blazed down like an evil eye, the prince appeared in Jemmy's bedchamber. "Boy, tumble out of bed. I need an answer." Jemmy could tell that the prince was wearing a black cloak and carrying a wicker basket the size of a sea chest. "What are you up to now? Walking your little sleep, are you?" "I'm running away." "What? You can't go hopping off like you was a common folk? What's fighting you?" "Shh! I'm bored. Bored with dumping bullfrogs in the moat, so no one got a week of sleep." "Boring. And didn't you laugh fit to kill when the knights fell off their saddles? You hoggers the saddles." "Boring. Don't you count on getting this hiding line? Don't you count on getting me thrashed with this hiding line? Feel like the devil went with me, spikes in his shoes. Let's be off." "Why me?" Jemmy thought. "Why can't you get a friend to go with you?" No, not you, Prince Bright. You got no friends, that's why." "It's night out." "The best time." "But ain't you afraid of the dog? Everyone knows you won't sleep without a candle lit." "How dare you!" "Anyways, the moon is good and bright. Come on." "But the king will go fit." Positively. You'll get all flat as a feather, but I'll be so much as lucky if they didn't whip me to the bone. More like hung from the gallows. Scragged for sure. Carry the basket gently from the streets and follow me. No more weapons if you can't be found. Thank you.